there's two types of people who come into the Peerspace website. You'll have the host who wants to list their property, and you'll have the people that want to book. So from just like case studies that are out there right now, what are the types of properties that are listing on Peerspace? Because I think the assumption would be, oh, it's for, big warehouses or X, Y, or Z. It's not going, I think a host watching this may be thinking it's not going to be for me. So if you could just give some different types of examples of people that are listing their properties on Peerspace, just to sort of calm that objection that somebody may have.
Yeah. Well, we are interested in bringing on unique spaces, whatever kind of space type that may be. So while there are meeting rooms and boardrooms and co-working spaces, there are also many homes, residences that are used for different activities. There are warehouses, lofts, flats, single-family homes. People are listing their backyards for events, for example. You can list parts of the space as well, I should mention. So when you list your space, it doesn't mean that you're giving somebody access to the bedroom, and people aren't sleeping or staying overnight in a Peerspace booking. So yeah, we have many different space types, but we certainly see quite a bit of demand for residences, particularly from production segments and for our meeting segments where teams would like to get together in a more relaxed, inspiring space. There's a ton of variety in residences, and every space is really different, and you can find what you're looking for if you're browsing for a rental.
So at what point of the Peerspace journey, and I don't know how long you've been in the company for, but what part of the Peerspace journey did you realize that, hang on a second, we need to get short-term rental accommodation businesses on this platform? Was there a specific moment, or was it just something that you sort of decided to target from the off, or was it something that came in like a couple of years down the line?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I want to say that it happened quite organically. I think that there is people who are familiar with short-term rental platforms, Airbnb, for example, are understanding that the value of their space can be monetized in different ways. And as people got wind of what was happening with Peerspace as an alternative way to do something similar, I think a lot of the organic inbound supply that we started seeing was these residences and a lot of short-term rentals and vacation properties who just understand the concept of that. And so I don't know that we deliberately went after that kind of audience to add that supply ever, but it certainly is something that our renters are saying they're looking for, like, for the reasons I mentioned earlier. That there's a lot of unique qualities about these spaces, and the host is generally used to providing a certain expectation around hospitality and attentiveness to their needs, and so they just tend to do really well on the platform. And that's not to say that a photo studio or a performance space isn't also doing well. There's just kind of different types of rentals.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Bruce Lee podcast. Bruce Lee like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely.